Good morning, Lewis. I am Citlali Romo with Colin McCarthy. Thank you for joining us this early in the morning.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you are all having a very warm February and are starting the semester off strong.
Did you see how warm it's getting outside?
I love it.
I know, me
hate
too.
having to warm my car up because I have to wake up even earlier, and I don't like doing that.
I know, me too. It's like in the mornings it was hard getting up, and now it's a little bit easier. It's still a little bit harder, but it's getting better with the warm weather that we're getting.
Yeah.
But we live in Chicago, so who knows?
It's gonna
We
be cold
have to
till
be prepared.
July. Okay, let's start with our trending topics. So, we've had a lot of updates this week.
Yeah, there was a Grammys. A lot of announcements coming up.
With Apple and the NBA even.
So, Jurassic Park also maybe.
Yeah. So with Apple Vision, we all know Jarvis from like Iron Man and all of the futuristic worlds, but it's coming to real life sooner than we think because Apple just released their own like VR technology, but it's not for video games, it's for real life, where we can interact with the world around us with these new headsets.
Oh, okay, now it makes sense. I seen a video where somebody was coming out of a Tesla with wearing those things, but I thought it was the Oculus. I thought it was Oculus. I was like, why are you playing games when you're driving? But now that I'm getting a little visual of it, it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of really scary. It's giving me Black Mirror vibes.
Yeah, there's a lot of new technology that is very, very future.
Yeah, I heard they're like $3,500.
Easily.
I don't even spend $100 on glasses I need. And tweet number 2 is, Taylor Swift has won Album of the Year for Midnights, making history as the first artist in history to win the prestigious category 4 times.
Yeah.
I know this girl has been winning awards, and I was expecting it just because Taylor has been the talk of the town for the past year, maybe the past 2 years. But yeah, I'm pretty happy for her. Yeah, that's how I was like,
Didn't she also announce her new album?
She did announce her new album, and she also brought Lana on stage, who was nominated for the award that she didn't win. But yeah, she announced her new album, so we'll see how that one goes. I wonder if it's going to be a breakup album or if it's going to be a love one. It was announced, but we'll see.
Tweet 3. So this is cool. So the NBA has unveiled their new LED courts for the 2024 All-Star events. So they've buffed up their new courts with the in-season tournament and just new graphics in general. But with the new challenge between the WNBA shooter and the NBA shooter, being the best shooters in the league, respectively, they have buffed up the three-point competition, the 4-point designation, and even the skills test. So the entire court is all LED and all light up.
The entire court is all LED?
All of it.
Isn't that, that's a little, I'm concerned for that simply for the players involved. Well, even the viewers, because if this is all lit up, are you really paying attention to the game? I think it's just more of a visual.
It might be more distracting,
right?
But we'll see. It might bleed into even playoffs or
maybe.
The finals.
I don't know how I feel about them. No, but that's really cool. It's new, definitely new. It's not the brown old little basketball court that we normally see. Yeah. So that's gonna be something different to look at. And now we're looking at our TikToks. Oh no, sorry, it's my tweet. The new Jurassic World movie will be released in theaters on July 2 of 2025. Personally, I grew up watching Jurassic Park, and then my brother, I have a younger brother who also was obsessed with Jurassic Park. So it's just never ending. Jurassic World is always there, and I'm actually really excited.
I'm wondering if they're gonna keep the same story because the old cast is not supposed to come or be on it. So I wonder how they're gonna spin the whole franchise.
Like the old cast or the old of the last cast?
No Jeff Goldblum, no Laura Dern.
Oh, okay.
And then Chris Pratt is not supposed to return either. So it's gonna be a whole new cast and a whole new direction with it. So it's gonna be interesting.
They just have Ryan Gosling show up.
Doing
another award.
Song and dance.
Right?
And then we have my TikTok.
Yes.
Let's go.
What that little thing was for. It pops up every once in a while. Oh dear. It's hi. I wanted to say hello. I thank you for your comment, and I'm supposed to say period after each sentence. It said, there it is. Anyway. Of getting,
That is really funny.
any way of getting word, of getting any. Why is it saying things I haven't said? What have I said that? No. What? Okay.
It's her speaking.
What did you do?
Oh my gosh.
My grandma is very bad with technology, just like this grandma. It's so funny to watch them try and break down and understand something that to us is just so second nature. Like
It's
she can't
so
even,
funny.
like for Christmas, she was like, oh, send me what you want, like an Amazon link, but you have to email it to me because I don't know how to work anything else. She knows how to work email, which is AOL. Like she's had it for 30 years.
At least
she
it's not SBC Global.
Yeah, she needs an email, no text, no hyperlinks.
That
And
is so funny.
trying to set up her new phone and her new Apple Watch.
Forget about it.
No, it was not fun.
It's crazy how they got like every single word that she said, because I remember when I do try to use that that technology, it doesn't even get the sentence that I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
It'll
just
say
talk too
like
fast.
right, maybe it is that, or not clear at all.
Yeah. I just mumble and garble my words together.
Yeah,
There's no way
the
Siri
phone's like
knows.
over here, and I'm like, Siri. And now onto my TikTok. This one's so funny.
Was first celebrated in my culture about 3 centuries.
Slow your eyes down. You need to browse your eyes through the crowd.
Celebration.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me so much of when last semester I had a class where we had to present. You were in my class.
Yeah.
Where we had to present, and my biggest thing was eye contact. So I just related to that kid so much because I remember being up there and I'm just like looking at everybody, being super nervous as him, trying to hide behind like the little note cards that we had, and I'm just like, eye contact, make it go back down.
And you make eye contact with your friend just so you have someone to look at that isn't.
And then it was you with your feet like this. Oh, that was so funny.
Oh my God. Speeches.
No, seriously.
But next up, we have some share good stories, sure to brighten your day. First is Whopper Creations. Would you like a life-changing prize with that burger? Burger King is announcing its $1 Million Whopper contest, in which customers can submit their own ingredients for the classic sandwich that made its debut in 1957. As you can tell from the title, the contest the winning entry will indeed be a $1 million prize. Technically speaking, there are more than 200,000 possible combinations for the Whopper, but applicants can only choose up to 8 possible toppings. Once the Dream Whopper is confirmed, customers can submit their recipe and they will get an AI preview of their creation, which can be beefed up with a jingle and a background. The deadline for the contest is March 17th.
It's only Tuesday and the weekend is still a good ways away. So if you need something to brighten up your day, you should treat yourself to some frozen yogurt. That's because today is National Frozen Yogurt Day. Observed every year on February 6th, this icy treat started out as a fad, but has become a freezer section staple over the years. According to nationaldatecalendar.com, dairy company H.P. Hood came up with the first frozen yogurt in 1970 in the United States. Though its health benefits varied compared to ice cream, Freud does tend to be lower in fat and calories. Celebrate with your favorite flavor in a cup or cone, and share to social media with the hashtag National Frozen Yogurt Day.
New Jersey will be hosting the 2026 FIFA World Cup at MetLife Stadium. The global soccer governing body says the tournament will consist of 104 matches across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. It will feature 48 national teams instead of the previous 32. Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. are automatically placed in the tournament, and they will each play their group stage matches on home soil. Meanwhile, the quarterfinals will be held in Boston, Los Angeles, Miami, and Kansas City, Missouri. Coming up, we will show you what's new at Lewis, so stay tuned.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored?
Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
Kevin, I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
What are you looking for?
Today I'm here with two of the three winners of the MLK or Radical Speech Contest, Devin Kennebrew and Kristen Pulaski. Kaylin Brownless could not be with us today, but here we are. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're gonna start off with asking you guys, who inspired you to enter this competition?
I could probably say for the both of us, it was our Intro to Human Communications teacher, Dr. Albright. Shout out to her. And she told us this about like December, like middle of December of like first semester. And at first I was thinking like, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. I don't know, because I know I was gonna be working. But I was thinking in my head too that this could really help me with like money stuff with like school. So I was just like, you know what? My motto was like, you only live once. So may as well give it a shot.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit of how you guys came about with creating your speeches?
So the topic was kind of general and it was given to us. It was mostly to talk about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because it was in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and kind of about like how he would feel about the nation now, how it still like has some racist history and how literature is being taken out of classrooms and there's book bannings, and like what we can do like as students and like the new generation to like kind of combat that and like talk about that.
I know it's not really more to persuade, but more just to inform. How do you think your message can inspire unity and promote understanding among a diverse community?
Well, with that, it's just like, you kind of have to like realize, at least what I realized when writing the speech, is that racism is something that's just not gonna like immediately go away. It's just something that's gonna like stay within like, unfortunately, the U.S. for like a very long time, but you just gotta like figure out what can you tackle to like slow it down.
And like the big part of understanding it is to like look at the history of it, and that's the issue now is classrooms are trying to take that history away or not talk about it as much, and like there's always going to be white and black and different races, but like we all have the same blood and that needs to be talked about.
No, I agree. Can you share your creative process in crafting your speech?
Well, with my creative process of doing it, I kind of just took it off of based on what Dr. Albright taught us to do, like how we should like format our speeches, like have like a attention getter, like some basic information, and then like a thesis statement. And when we were doing one of our speeches in the class, it was the persuasive speech, and I kind of got like inspiration off of that, because not only is it that I want to inform, but I want to persuade people, saying that like, hey, like what I said before, racism is something that's never going to go away. And that's how I wanted to tackle it. It's just like, what basically happens when somebody's being like, feeling like a sense of like, I'm trying to like find the right words, like being like racist towards someone. I'm trying to like flip flop it around. But it's just finding ways to like tackle racism and figure out what it is that we got to do to slow it down.
And see mine, because I'm a secondary education major, I want to talk more about like what's happening in the classrooms and the literature bannings and how that's like going to stop the younger generations from understanding everything. So I focused more on that, and I kind of took it just paragraph by paragraph, and I really wanted like a good like attention getter, like you said. So I looked up like famous Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. quotes, and the one that I use at the beginning and end of my speech was like, things become harmful when you start to stay silent about things that matter.
Yes, that one is a good one. I agree with you on that one. Were there any challenges you faced while preparing your speech for the
I'd probably
contest?
say for me, probably just like finding the right information maybe. Because at first, well, that too, but also kind of like going about what I wanted to do for the speech. It was just a lot of thinking about like, what should I write about and what should like people like get after like I'm done talking about the speech. So I was just thinking like I could inform, but then like, I'm gonna try to persuade some people to like go out, try to, fight for what's right and fight for like, not only just like for like black rights, but also for human rights as well.
For me, I think like my biggest challenge was like, how do I, as like a white person, talk about like an issue that I don't experience? Like I don't experience racism. So mine was more so like, how can I convey a message in such a way, which is why I took like the education route too, because that one I can relate more to, and like how I can still make a difference even though I haven't experienced it yet. Like that was my big thing. Like how can I persuade people? How can I get it through to people while not having like that kind of life experience, I guess.
And how'd you guys overcome that?
That's a good question. It was just like, that's a really good question. I kind of just went on about like, I was thinking in my head too, like, this is something that like I should try to persuade, because my parents talk about racism a lot. My mom told me that my grandma was like around the area where it was like, not like basically like slavery was happening, but more so like Jim Crow laws, like separated but equal kind of thing. And I was like really, really thinking about that, and I was just like, dang, it kind of like sucks that my grandma had to go through that kind of thing. And I was also on my high school speech team, and I was doing like this poetry thing where I was talking about like whites and blacks being together instead of being like apart. And the speech coach that I had, Professor Wingba, by the way, shout out to her as well. She told me that, cause I was like, I never like, kind of like what Kristen said, I never really like been a part of that era before. I never experienced it, but like as me being like a young black man now, it's just like that kind of made me think like, dang, what we went through was like bad. And that's why I wanted to persuade people, just like not only as like just black people and white people, but like many other races, like Spanish people, Koreans, Japanese, like anybody. We are all the same people, and we shouldn't be like bashing each other down just because of the color of our skin.
For me, like I kind of wanted to take it paragraph by paragraph. I didn't want to rush it because it was something that I didn't know too well. And so I wanted to look up statistics, and I went on like PEN America and looked up like all the different book bannings and like just kind of like what's happened so that I could understand it more statistically too, to be able to write it, because I can't talk from personal experience. So I had to find like other outlets that I could still persuade people on.
That's awesome that you went ahead and went to get facts and everything. Make sure you fact checked everything. Mm-hmm. You said facts, no printer. How did you work on your presentation skills to effectively convey your message?
That I could probably say is just that, and this usually helps me too when it comes to theater, I usually kind of just like pace myself, just like walk back and forth, just like, okay, I said this in this way. I kind of like how I did it. I'm gonna make sure to do that when I go up and do the speech. And it's just pacing myself, finding like the right moments, finding the right words, and just going about doing my best, honestly.
Yeah.
Practice, like I would practice in front of my parents, and like I'm an only child, so I would just like stay in my room and I would practice it like late at night. I would time myself, and kind of like you said with the different like just knowing like when to pause, when to keep going, like because sometimes you need to pause to get a message more clear and like thorough to your audience. So kind of like playing around with like when to keep talking, when to stop, and like get your timing right, and so just like keep practicing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say with that. Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But I was gonna say with that too, it was also just like, and this is what I learned too from like, yet again doing high school speech again. I kind of like broke it down into like different like minutes. Like the first like from like the intro, it was kind of like, okay, this should at least be like 1 to 2 minutes, and then for like my body paragraphs, each one should be like about 3, maybe 4 minutes if I go a little bit over, and then like the conclusion would just be like 1 minute. It's just thinking about like, if I'm talking like this feels like 1 minute, then I should be fine. Or like for like the body, if I'm talking for like 3 minutes for like each one, I should be cool.
The day of the contest, how prepared did you guys feel? I know you said you had like a month ahead to prepare.
Nervous.
Yeah.
I was really nervous. Yeah, I could say that it was kind of hard for me to prepare pretty well because it was like I was not only tackling that, but just like work as well. But I kind of really shouldn't be using that as an excuse. But it was just also just like, it was times throughout the break, it was like pretty relaxing where I was like, oh, I forgot I was doing an oratorical speech. So it was just like, I felt like I wasn't really prepared, but I knew what to expect. So I was kind of more like mentally prepared than I was like more prepared for the speech a little bit. But I did my best surprisingly, and I feel like I did pretty okay. So
You won.
yeah, I won. So I mean, it's just good. It is good that I won, but I felt like I probably could have been like a little bit more prepared for it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was more nervous. Like I didn't know what to expect. You're going to like a new place because it was hosted at a church, and so it's like you're going to a new place, and then just kind of stuff like that. And we didn't find out until 3-4 days beforehand because we talked on a Sunday. Because Martin Luther King Jr. was that following Monday, and then we found out Thursday, Friday of earlier that week that we were going to be at.
It was like Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, and same going back to the work thing, because we found out so late, I was already scheduled for work that Sunday. So I had to like text him and be like, I'm so sorry, but can someone cover my shift? Like I had the speech. So work was definitely like a big like part of it too, like trying to find it. So I feel like I was more nervous too because you didn't have like enough time to like calm your nerves down. I was just so worked up for 3 days.
I would say that too. What kind of like made me nervous as well is that I was thinking in my head like, ooh, there's going to be a lot of students here, and I'm like, I don't know who would expect to be here. And then once I heard that like me, you, and Caitlin, who was also the other winner, saying that, oh, we're the 3 finalists, I was just like, oh. Okay, that kind of calmed my nerves a little bit.
Because we were all in the same class. Me, Devin, and Kate were all in the same intro to communications class. But I still think there was a lot of people at that church. I remember like they gave us we practiced in front of the judges, and then they're the ones that scored us. And then we took a tour of the church, and then we went. Really nice. It's really big. And then we went to like a lunch, brunch kind of thing, and then you saw just everyone in there. Like easily 200 people in this room.
Easily 200 people.
Easily, because there was at least like 10, 12 people sitting per table, and there was like 30-something tables. So like seeing everyone, I was trying to eat, and I'm like, am I gonna have to talk in front of all these people? Like I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
So that was also very nerve-wracking.
I'll probably say for me, with like the kind of like what you said, like talking in front of like 200 people, I was just like, oh, I'm talking in front of a lot of people. But I gotta remember, I do theater. I'm used to this kind of stuff, so I should be fine.
That's the difference. I'm not.
Yeah, and that's understandable. But I think like what kind of like helped me a little bit, what kind of like made me nervous too, I was just like, I'm not really that prepared with my speech, but I gotta remember too, it's just like, I'm kind of used to talking in front of people. So I kind of just had to go with my gut and just see what's right.
Thank you. Thank you guys for sharing. I am going to ask you guys for one more thing. Can you share with us your favorite part of your speech?
I got you. I'm going to have to pull my phone for this one.
It's okay.
Well, I'll go first for this one if you like.
Okay.
So one part that I saw when like creating the speech that I saw on this website, it said that we should challenge the colorblind ideology. I keep pronouncing this wrong. But the colorblind ideology is a persuasive myth that we live in a post-racial society in which people don't see color, which also contributes to racism. When Dr. King said that he had hopes of living in a colorblind society, he doesn't mean that we should ignore race. We must see color in order to work together as a community to fight racism. And so when I was reading that, that's kind of like what got me into being like, not only should it be just blacks and whites together trying to like tackle racism, but everybody around the world, because we can all say that the BLM protests or just like the Black Lives Matter movement kind of like just was like the biggest impact of 2020. And like, that's all I saw like on like national television. I was just like, dang, this is something that like, not only that we're going through right now, but this is something that we go through every single day. So instead of just like, oh, we got to figure out how to get rid of racism, we got to get this out of the way so then we can live in a peaceful world. Let's figure out how to like slow it down, because like what I said in the beginning, racism isn't going away anytime soon. So it's better for us just to like take it down bit by bit.
No, yeah, definitely. I agree.
My favorite part was when I was wrapping up my speech. And I said, our nation's citizens and generational youth are not dumb. There is black and there is white, and that will never change. But there's also human, and humanity is a trait that we all have the ability of sharing. Learning about the past helps shape our future together. The United States has a racist history that cannot be undone now, but we must learn about the past to create a future where it does not matter your skin color, and instead what matters is the kind of person you are and the roots of your soul. If we do not teach our kids the true history of the United States, and if we do not teach our kids the works of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as well as other influential people of the time, we cannot create a better, more harmonic future where race does not define who you are.
Wow, that was really good, you guys. Thank you for sharing. Also, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you guys do well and everything else that you guys do.
Thank you.
I'm sure that I didn't hear all of your speech, but the little inserts that you guys shared with us was really good to hear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that'll be all.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Well, that is it for today, you guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Good Morning Lewis.
Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.